How's everybody doing today? Thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to me. So we're about to get our show started. And as usual, we're going to get it started with the spirit, get it in and all throughout this place. So here we go. Hey, we are soldiers in the army fighting. We gotta fight, oh Lord. We gotta fight and we gotta hold up the bloodstained banner. Hold it up. We gotta hold it up until we die. Now my father, he was a soldier. He had his foot on the gospel choir. But one day he got old and couldn't fight anymore. He had to stand up and shout it on out. Yeah, we are soldiers in the army fighting. We gotta fight, oh Lord. We gotta fight and we gotta hold up the bloodstained banner. Hold it up. We gotta hold it up until we die. Now my mother, she was a soldier. She had her foot on the gospel choir. But one day she got old and couldn't fight anymore. She had to stand up and shout it on out. Hey, we are soldiers in the army fighting. We gotta fight, oh Lord. We gotta fight and we gotta hold up the bloodstained banner. Hold it up. We gotta hold it up until we die. Now take me, y'all. I am a soldier. And I got my foot on the gospel choir. But one day I'll get old and can't fight anymore. And I'll have to stand up and shout it on out. Hey, I was a soldier in the army fighting. I had to fight, oh Lord. I had to fight and I had to hold up the bloodstained banner. Hold it up. I had to hold it up until I die. All right. So let's go ahead on and get into it. You know, we got spirit all up in this place. You know, I want to make sure that I always started out on a good note, giving that praise and that worship. All right. So we're here to continue our community conversation that we've been having. We all know what it is. Today we're talking about exposing the bully. Who's the bully? The bully is child support. And how is child support a bully? Well, child support is a bully because they are promoting a family structure that will destroy America ultimately. Child support is a bully because they're using the power of the state and the local government to oppress fathers and strip them of their rights of fatherhood, remove them from their children so that their children can be unruly and, unkept, and be fodder for the federal and state system so they can get free labor and so that they can have degenerate communities where they can always have low income workers. And I want a society where if someone is a garbage man, it's because they were afforded the right choices. They just truly were destined to be a garbage man. And I don't have a problem with that because someone has to pick up the trash. But to deliberately destroy a culture of people to make sure that they're going to always be subservient. And when I say a culture of people, I'm not talking about just the race. I'm talking about if you're in the middle class, if you're in the poor class, okay? That's the culture I'm talking about because these are the fathers that are being divested of their rights. Rich men are not being put through this type of thing because for the most part, they have lawyers that can help them ride above the system. Everybody knows that if you have money, then the rules don't apply. So unless you do a certain thing and you are a certain person. All right. So child support is a bully because it tries to go against our religious beliefs. Our religious beliefs are that the family is the father, the mother, and the offspring that they bring. The husband, wife, the offspring that they bring. Okay? We believe that marriage is between a man and a woman. All right. And we believe in the traditional values that our Creator first introduced to us. That's why we're asking that marriage is removed from the criminal justice system, from the courts, where all they have over there is correction, no forgiveness. Marriage is part of our Christian holy beliefs. You understand? This is an institution that was ordained by the Creator, given to us so that and told to us to be fruitful and multiply. And this is the way for us to do it in a safe manner, because marriage prevents STDs from being spreaded, because you're only having intercourse with the one mate. Marriage keeps safe, clean community, because you're bringing up good, wholesome people, with values and pride, because they have a family that they belong to. And the attorney general and child support and the local and state and federal government and your minister and the Department of Education, all right, they all know these things, because there are too many studies out there over too many years that have been constantly informing them that they're doing the wrong thing. They just choose to ignore the knowledge that's there. Well, they don't ignore the knowledge that's there. They seem that if they do another thing than what's recommended, they'll get a different outcome, which will be one that will have more people who will be always subject to being welfare recipients. They have created a system where they helping broken people make broken people, and they don't want responsibility and accountability to ever be put into that. That's why they fight so hard to keep the father out of the situation, because we know that fathers bring accountability, responsibility, discipline, you know what I'm saying? All those type of things. We bring order to the situation, all right? Men don't play with boys. So you see boys that have fathers that are busy with their sons. They don't have time to roam the streets with other young men trying to figure it out, because you have a man teaching them. Child support, the attorney general, the federal and state, local government, the minister, the Department of Education, the Department of Corrections, they all understand this. They've all read all of these studies. They've read all of these reports. They are fully aware of it, and they know to do just the opposite. And that's exactly what they do. Even in their rules and in their practices, when you look at it, you will see that it's designed to do the opposite thing of what the professionals have recommended, so that they can get the outcomes that the professionals telling them will be detrimental if they do it this way right here. They got gains in this, okay? Free labor, all right? Lack of competition, being able to maintain certain social classes, being able to maintain certain workforce groups, by preventing people from being able to elevate by simply doing one simple thing: turning the lady against the man. And they can't do it. Well, now they're doing it before we even meet, through social media, through all of the things that they have today to plant the seed of women be independent. You don't need a man. And, men are adopting the women roles in life, and they're trying to blur the gender lines, and they're trying to blur the responsibility lines that go with making good order and a good family structure. All of this is being done when you create all of these false subsidies to replace the man in the home with ladies, instead of us trying to be a society that promotes not having children out of wedlock, so that we won't have all of these derelict young men running around with no one responsible for them. Child support knows that women are using child support as a financial tool to exist in life, and the children are the victims in it. And if they truly were interested in the children, then they would follow the medical facts. They would follow what the truth is and do the right thing by the children. But when you have an ulterior motive, you have to do what your ulterior motive is. So before we really get into our topic today, which is what are the three primary roles of a father, I'm going to give my little 2 cents on what are, I believe, the three primary roles of a father are. All right. Now, number one, Father provides protection. Protection from poverty, protection from any outside interference that may come in and cause harm. Father provides guidance, order. A father prepares you realistically for what the world is about to come at you with. And I don't know about other people. I'm just going to share my experience. I remember when the state gave me to my daddy, I felt so comfortable with him because he had a beard. He had a big beard, you know, and to me that was just like, you know, everything. And he was strong, you know, so he had six-pack, big chest, you know, so those type of things really help relax me, because when I was with my biological mother, I felt like I had to be prepared to fight to defend myself. But when the state gave me to my daddy, I felt like, you know, I got a protector. I got somebody that's going to look out for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to fend for myself. That is a realistic thing that young men harbor inside of themselves, but are not mature enough to be able to express. So they just stay on guard. You know what I'm saying? And they ready to defend, you know, violently because of ignorance. So I know that, you know, fathers provide things that a sense of confidence and security that a mother could never provide, you know. My daddy is serious about money, so I'm serious about money. My father is no nonsense, so I'm no nonsense. I don't really get, like, when I'm dealing with a lady, I don't get emotional at all. Like when I'm with my fellas, I'm rah-rah, I'm, you know, all this here. But when I'm with a lady, I'm more reserved and calm and laid back, because I want her to understand that no matter what, I got this, you know. And so I demonstrate that. But another question I want to move on to is, what role do men play in society? And the reason this question came to me is because I was looking at, I can't call the name of the show right now, but I want to take this time out before I go off into this to shout out to Andrew Tate, to Just Pearly, Crimson Cure, Lapeef Network, you know, and the late great Kevin Samuels. All right. I was listening to these young people, these three young men. I'm sorry I can't recall their name right now. And they were talking with some young ladies. And the young ladies were, you know, basically talking like they could do this life without men. Men are a hindrance. Men are in the way, really. Men are their obstacle. And I was like, do she not understand that if men did not do the things that we did every day, women would die? Like, we are the most in doctors. We built hospitals. We built vehicles, made vehicles, created ambulances, created air conditioning. We do all of these things to make a woman and children comfortable. And women have not invented any of these things. okay? Refrigeration, irrigating the soil, planting the seed, the railroad line, the train, modernizing things and making cities. Women have not done any of these things. Women have just been the beneficiary of all of these things. And now you come into what we have labored and did to try and make a life where you will be unencumbered to just procreate with us, where we can be comfortable. And now you want to take it over and make it seem like you did it. And let me explain something to you. If the electricity go off, that means you can't pump no gas, you can't refrigerate no food, you can't call the police, you can't turn on no lights, you can't do nothing, because electricity makes everything move, everything work. So that means at night, who's your protector? You know, it's going to have to be men banding together, roaming in groups to keep neighborhoods safe. The very same men that these ladies were trying to pretend like are irrelevant and don't need to, and are just a hindrance in the way. We have gone and made life too easy for the female, and as a result of that, she has become the ops. In the black culture, for sure, the black female is becoming the ops. And she's becoming the ops because she's willing to partner with white supremacy against us. Okay? When you partner with child support and the attorney general and the state and the local government and the federal government against me, the men, and refuse to do the correct thing and formulate the correct family structure so that we can have civil societies, you become the ops. When you know that their ultimate goal is to divide us so that they can take our children and make sure our children never reproduce, then why would you accept food stamps and welfare from them? Why would you accept Section 8 from them? Why would you accept housing from them? You know, why would you do anything with them where you have to follow their rules when you know that all of their rules ultimately lead to the destruction of our seed? There's been no time in history where Black America can look and say the U.S. government had our best interests at heart. The U.S. government did this to improve the lives of Black people. Everything, every gain that Black Americans have gotten in this country has been fought for and have been gained at the cost of blood. So why do you think that they would try and fix our family structure? These people have been trying to destroy the family structure since slavery. These people have been trying to destroy the family structure since slavery. Why? And you can, if you're being honest, you look at it, you can see, and their effort has not waned any. They've just perfected it so that you so busy looking at the television, you so busy with your head down, working 40, 60 hours a week until you can't pay attention to where they moved it to, because they moved it out of your sight. They moved it in the penitentiaries. They moved it in the local jails. If you understand this and you really do love and care for a child, then get you a job at Walmart, get you a job at wherever you're going to get at. If you got to work 2-3 jobs, you know, take care of your children, stay independent of the government. If that means that y'all eating ramen noodles most nights, y'all eating. If that means y'all eating potatoes and, beans all the time, y'all eating. There is no rule that says you are not supposed to be poor. But you can beat poverty through education. So if you have made a mistake, don't look to someone else to fix your mistake. Don't let the government give you food stamps and welfare for permanent. You made a mistake. You're in an unfortunate situation. You had a baby with a joker that turned out not to be what he was supposed to be. Now he's run out on you because he never had a father. Okay? Don't turn to food stamps and welfare. Don't turn to child support. Okay? Get yourself your work and focus on your children's education. Your focus is to get them children to college. Then once you get them children to college, then you can turn around and start back fixing your life where you messed up at. But as long as we continue to not want to be poor, to not want to do bad at this time and work toward doing good at a better time, then we're going to continue to be in this situation. And we have to be willing to sacrifice. And when I say sacrifice for this have to mean enough to you that you are willing to sacrifice your freedom or even your life to accomplish this. You understand? That's how serious it is. That's how serious it is. And we just got to decide that we're not going to, women, ladies, we got to decide that you're not going to be with white supremacists anymore. You're going to, your kids are not going to be able to get all of the treats at the store because mama worked for a living. Mama don't get no food stamps. So we're not getting the Oreos. We're getting the Rios, or you'll get nothing and you'll like it, because if a child has snacks or if a child don't have snacks, that is not detrimental. But if a child does not have the proper education, that is detrimental. They will live a dog's life. Okay? It is not important that you get food stamps and welfare, because they can have grits and eggs in the morning for breakfast. Okay? They can have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for lunch. Okay? And they can have red beans and rice and fried chicken for dinner. Them is 3 cheap-ass damn meals, okay, that you can afford working. And they are well-balanced, full meals, okay? You throw a vegetable in there at dinner time. Sometimes you can throw a vegetable in there, throw some peas on the side, throw some green beans on the side. You understand? And I promise you, them kids going to grow up big and strong, NFL size. Okay? You don't have to have all of the other stuff that the food stamps and the welfare pay for, that got all them snacks and all that kind of stuff in your cabinet. People who work for a living realistically don't have all of that stuff. We make jokes about y'all because we be like, you could tell the people who buying food with food stamps because they got 2-3 baskets and they just grab whatever they want to. They don't think about the price. They don't look at nothing. They don't care what the name brand is. They just grabbing it. That's unrealistic. It's okay that you and your children are poor and you are giving them appreciation that they're going to work hard in school and they're going to get off to college, and that's how they're going to live better. And when you do, don't sell them that phony baloney bullshit about don't forget about mama and come back and get me. No. Once you get them off to living a good independent life, you say, now I got a chance to get my act together. You get your butt back in school, better yourself, meet yourself somebody, and go and get independent totally by yourself. You see what I'm saying? Don't milk them children. So now let's get off into today's show, because that's just my little old 2 cents on the situation. So today's show, we're talking about, what are the 3 primary roles of a father? And the 3 primary roles of a father, we're going to be reading this article today from continue.com, okay? And it's called Early Childhood Education. All right? What are the 3 primary roles of a father? Okay? Through almost every studied culture, fathers have assumed three primary roles: the protector, the provider, and the disciplinarian. Before we discuss each of these roles, it is important to note that in many two-parent families today, mothers are fulfilling these three roles as much as fathers. Mothers protect their children by strapping them into car seats and buckling seat belts, monitoring computer usage, and assessing the environment for other potential dangers. Mothers provide for their families by working outside the home as much as fathers do. Additionally, today mothers are taking on a more disciplinarian role for their children than in the past. When we used to hear the phrase, "you wait till your father gets home," for the purpose of this course, we are discussing the importance of father's role in a child's life, but it is important to acknowledge that mothers engage in these roles as well. Okay? And I wanted to read that because, ladies, I am not against you. We cannot accomplish this as fathers alone. We have to come together as a family with respect for family, okay? And with respect to protect each other's roles. I will defend your right to be a mother, and I want you to defend my right to be a father. We have to speak in one resounding voice to the child support system, to the attorney general, to the local, state, and federal government, that we no longer want our male children to be given to the mother, but we want them to be given to the father. And we understand why the state is trying to psychologically work on the mother and get the mother to assume the responsibility, because all of the benefits that the state get, all of the benefits that the local correctional facilities get, all of the business that the federal facilities get, the news department, the media, everybody is eating off of black misery. And we're saying in the black culture, no more. With one resounding voice, we respect family and we want traditional marriage removed from the criminal justice system, out of the courts, out of the correctional facility where there is no forgiveness at. And we want this put back in the house of the Lord where it belongs, where there is forgiveness, true counseling, true love, and everything. Okay? Bottom line. And that's not hard to understand. So back to where we were. The number one thing that a father does is he's the protector. One of the strategies we've used is encouraging our fathers to baby-proof or child-proof their home when the mother is expecting. What are the things they can do to prepare the home for the child? That's one of the ways that men can protect their children from danger inside the household. They can also protect their children from external dangers. This is especially important in communities where the higher levels of violence, where there is a potential for the child to be exposed to gang activity or crime. Moms tend to see the rest of the world in relation to their children. Fathers tend to see their children in relation to the rest of the world. Mom's traditional emphasis is that she wants to protect her child from getting hurt by the forces from the outside of the world: bullies, strangers, mean dogs, accidents, disease. She never wants this to happen to her child. And fathers, their paternal instinct also wants to prevent bad things from happening, but if it could happen, they want to do what they can to prepare their child to cope with these types of dangers. Often, the dads will try to prepare the child to handle external dangers such as dangerous strangers, mean dogs, lightning, bullies, falls, or accidents. Both of these roles are important for the child. Mom is protecting the child and dad is preparing the child. Another role of the protector that fathers play is by observing the social environment and knowing the peers and friends of their children. Also, when our children go to another family's home, we do not know what is in the home. Do we have the firearm? Do they have firearms in the home? Is it in a safe neighborhood? What do I need to do to protect my child from environments that could cause a threat to them? Fathers also guarantee their child's safety by shaping their environment. In other words, they can look at their surroundings the household, the neighborhood, the community, and encourage safe opportunities as well as remove hazards from the child's path. So we see that the father, number one, in this article, they label him as a protector. And they speak about him as protecting from environmental threats, both in the home and outside of the home. All right. And that is awesome. Okay. The most important part we read here was that the father can scope out the scene in the community and know, hey, look here, heads up, because this ain't no good place. You know what I'm saying? Keep your head on the swivel. And fathers will also say, you're not going in that area. Like my sons called me and they was like, yeah, we're going to go on down to Mardi Gras. And I'm like, well, hold up. Let me holler at some people, get some things together, because I need to have, people with me, with y'all, so we can all be safe. And they ain't never been down there before. So they was like, no, you know what I'm saying? We don't need no whatever. And I had to, hold up. I know what made me go crazy, doggone it. I'm not turning you loose up in that city like that and let you go and get yourself in trouble, or have somebody kill you, start a whole war up in there. So then the second role that a father plays is as the provider, okay? And as the role of provider, a father's ability to provide for his family is related to his sense of duty, his sense of identity, and his manhood. Different cultures have different messages about the means to be a man, a husband, and a father. Many of those cultures see that one of the man's primary roles is that of a provider. Let me explain something to you. I'm going to stop right there. Protector, provider, this is what we were put here to do. Okay? So when I was talking to you about on the last show, the news anchor guy, the homosexual man who was talking about we need to erase the gender roles. You see, then you listen to the scientists. You listen to the people that study. You listen to the doctors. Okay? And these people tell you that the way nature designed, the way the creator designed males, they are protectors, providers, okay? Disciplinarians. So if you are trying to erase what's natural and replace it with what you think, what is that? Isn't that called like perverse? Because if I'm a natural provider and protector, and it said, listen what it said. It said that a father's ability to provide for his family is related to his sense of duty, his sense of identity, and his manhood. So these people, this is why we have to set ourselves aside. These people have received the reports from the professionals. And the professionals have told them, this is how you make good people, this is how you make bad people. And so they have designed the program to make bad people. Because when they make bad people, these people will be dependent. These people will be needy. These people, we will always be relevant for these people because if a child don't know you breaking them in the beginning, they go in full force learning this mess. So you got the little baby with the Pampers on, the grandmama out there with her hands on the truck, the mama out there with her hands on the truck, the daughter out there with her hands on the truck, and the grandbaby out there holding the bottle with a pamper on, and they all popping. So the baby don't know she being broken because she's just a baby imitating the adults that's teaching her this. And she loves these people so. You understand me? So, it's not what it is, all right? Now, let's pick up where we left off at, okay? Because the Attorney General, child support, the local and state government, the federal government, your minister, the Department of Education, they all know these things. They've read these things time and time and time and time again, over and over again, over and over again. It's the equivalent to going and saying, the police pulled me over fraudulently and then he beat me up. Didn't hurt his soul so much until they just tired of hearing it. They know. They're not dumb. They just like, won't you get it? We doing this on purpose. You know what I'm saying? So, as we look off into, let's pick up where we left off at. As such, fathers need to be there to teach their child how to handle their impulses, how to stay calm under stress, and how to deal with situations when they don't endanger themselves or endanger others. In dominant cultures in the United States, many fathers are fulfilling the role of the disciplinarian. You're talking about the Caucasian culture. But it has to be in a safe and respectful way. It can't be in a violent way, because boys that are raised in homes with violence tend to perpetuate that in their family. Using this role as a disciplinarian is important, as the father uses his physical presence and teaches their child how to respond to situations accordingly and appropriately. Now, this is J. Neil Tift. He's a BA and an MA. All right. And he got a nice little resume of credentials behind him. Nice little body of work also behind him. Now, let me explain something to you. Men teach men violence. Women don't teach men violence. Women make men bad. Men teach men violence and how to control it. Men have to know violence in order to know how to protect their family, how to defend themselves. I agree with the last part that it should be done appropriately, but I believe that if you do not teach a young man violence and how to appropriately control it when it is to be applied and when it is not to be applied, and that is something that ladies, they just cannot do, because you cannot rise to the level that I can rise to and understand the predatorial nature that goes on in my mind. And also, you don't understand the level of strength that I possess. So when you are talking to me, you're talking to me based upon your strength. So at the point where you say you would hit someone is at the point that I must continue to demonstrate self-discipline and control, because you can hit someone and they can sit there and y'all can keep talking. But if I hit someone, more than likely the ambulance is going to need to be called. And so that is the huge difference in just that simple issue right there. But listen, this is a passion of mine, and my Cash App is $Gil Muse. And as you see, I can really get into this and go off long. Once again, I didn't mean for it to go so long, but this is a major issue. This is the civil rights issue of our time, okay? And we have to get a petition going. We have to get this conversation going in every state in the United States of America. We have to establish fathers' rights. We have to protect the institution of marriage. We have to strap up and hold up that bloodstained banner. You understand me? We have to hold it up until we die. And no, I do not condone violence, but do understand that if violence is what is necessary to defend the institution of marriage, then that's what we have to do as Christians. If violence is what is needed to defend the family order, the family structure, if that is what they resort to, then we would have to meet them with the same thing, whoever it may be. It's a hypothetical, but I just don't like the fact that people of faith try to make other people of faith docile and believe that at no time does he put you in a position to have to demonstrate violence. Because if you're saying that, then you're saying self-defense is totally not warranted at any time. And we all know that to be absurd, all right? So until next time, it's Papa G saying, I love you, I love everybody. Peace.